Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Look It Up Podcast. You can find us on YouTube under the Look It Up Podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo. So, yes, I'm Chael Omer and Tony Gudo. So,
I'm his grandfather.
yeah. So, we're going to talk about the last game, the Saints game.
Yeah, the Saints game. How
The
about
Saints finally
game?
won a game.
Saints won a game. They won, that's their third one, I think.
Third win of the season.
And they beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay on the road in Tampa. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought Tampa was going to beat us pretty easily. I think most people did the same way. Tyler Shuck, he came out playing ball.
Yes. For
13 of 20 for 144 yards.
And two rushing touchdowns.
Two rushing touchdowns. He ran 2 touchdowns in. He's a lot more mobile than I thought he was.
Yeah.
And also Neal.
Devin Neal gets his first career touchdown in the NFL.
Yep, 70 yards. 70 yards rushing. That ain't bad. Chuck, 55 yards rushing. What's really good, the Saints defense has really improved a lot.
Yes.
They are pretty close to the top 10 in a bunch of different categories. After this week, maybe I'll take a look at it and see where they stand. But the last time I looked at it, which was probably a week or so ago, maybe before that game, but they ranked they're like in the top 15 right now in a bunch of categories. They're pretty close to the top 10. So they've been really impressive. They've turned their defense around. That helps you win championships. You can't win without defense. Of course, this year we're pretty much out of it. Can't make the playoffs or anything.
No.
But we can spoil some other people's
We can
playoff.
spoil their playoff.
Like we just did with Tampa.
Exactly.
Tampa, we hurt Tampa a little bit. They have to play Atlanta this week because of the loss to us. They play.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a big game Thursday night between Atlanta and Tampa.
Yeah.
Before we go into more of the NFL, let's look at the what happened in college football.
College football, guys. We're going to go to the scores first.
Yeah, let's look at the scores of that.
Here we go in the... What's the name of the championship?
James Madison beat Troy pretty easy, 31-14,
Yep.
which was expected. They were like a 20-something point favorite in that game, so that was expected.
Tulane wins the American Conference Championship against North Texas. They were whooping butt most of the game. North Texas tried to come back at the end, but it wasn't strong enough.
I was pretty impressed with Tulane's head coach.
Yes.
Florida's getting a good coach. Florida going to end up with a good coach. I'm not sure. We never know with Florida up and down the last 10, 15 years, but they do have a good coach with bringing him in. I think they made a good decision there.
And then in the Big 12 championship, Texas Tech blows the brakes off of BYU.
Yeah, BYU hung in there for most of that game.
34-7.
But then all of a sudden they took care of them just like they did the first time they played. Mm-hmm. And it kept BYU from making the playoffs. If they would have won that game, they probably would have gotten the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Georgia put the whipping on Alabama too.
28-7.
28-7. Alabama just didn't look like they belonged in that game.
They did not. The run was not working whatsoever against Georgia's defense.
But if you look at Alabama, the last few weeks they have not looked that good.
Yeah.
They had a hard time beating Auburn 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. They've had a hard time the last few weeks. They just can't get their running game going, and their defense has something missing. They're just not quite as good.
We'll get back to Alabama on something else in the next.
Yeah, when we look at the playoff bracket.
Yeah.
And then Duke
upsets number 19 Virginia.
That was a big surprise to me. Virginia was one of my big picks this past week. I thought Virginia was going to win that game, and they would have probably gotten to the playoffs.
Yeah.
If that would have happened, but they didn't get in.
Agreed.
And you were right.
What did I say? What did I say?
Right.
Indiana beat Ohio State.
Oh, in a tough defensive battle.
That was a great game.
13-10.
It was a good game. I think Ohio State would have won the game if that kicker didn't miss those 2 field goals.
Yeah, you're right. Can't miss field goals. It was raining most of that game too, I think, right? Was it raining in that game?
I think in the first half a little bit. I think
it was raining some, in that game. But anyway, let's look at the college football season is over except for the championship game and the
playoff bracket.
Here's the playoff bracket.
Season, yeah.
Now, let's talk about who got in and why they got in.
Here we go.
First of all, Tulane and JMU got in.
Somehow.
Tulane got in by winning their conference. They're the number 11 seed.
Well, James Madison did too.
And James Madison did too by winning their conference.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to go in order. So, obviously, with the first bye, Indiana, they swapped with Ohio State. Ohio State number 2, Indiana number 1. And then we got Georgia with a bye. They had a bye last year.
Yep, they got a bye again.
But they lost in that second round matchup to Notre Dame.
And the team we've been talking about all year,
Texas Tech gets their bye.
They get the bye. They're in the top 4. They're a good team. Texas Tech, very good defensively, and they score a lot of points too. They score a lot of points.
The winner of. Oh wait, never. Oregon and James Madison will play each other to face Texas Tech in the quarterfinals.
Yep. Ole Miss and Tulane.
Now, Ole Miss did put the beating on Tulane in the regular season, but I believe Tulane has got a little better since then. Yeah, so Tulane has a chance. Sure. And then the winner of that will play Georgia. And Miami sneaks into the playoff. We've been saying for weeks that they don't deserve to make the playoff, but they do. They will play Texas A&M.
That would be a good game.
But the winner of that has to play Ohio State.
Yep. And then Oklahoma and Alabama.
A rematch from about a month ago.
Yeah.
The winner of that will play the number 1 Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep.
My observations on here. First of all, JMU and Tulane, they have to do something in these games.
They have
to show up. If they don't show up and be in the games in the fourth quarter, they don't have to win them. It would help if they did. But if they both can stay in there and be in the top, at least in the fourth quarter, be competitive, then I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
If they're not, if they both get blown out, I believe next year, I don't think they'll be taking those smaller schools. I think they're going to have a division. I think eventually they're going to have their own championship in the smaller school, in the group of 5. Not the
Big
group
four,
of 5,
four.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen because you can't have these teams come in there and be uncompetitive. I mean, Notre Dame should be in the playoffs.
Yes,
they do. And the only reason they're not is because they lost to Miami.
Speaking of Notre Dame, they did pull a little childish act this week. Yeah, they have announced that they will not play in a bowl game.
Yeah, well, I think they regret doing that, but I don't think they can change it now. They've already announced it.
Yeah,
some other schools already opted out, but some of the other schools opted out way before. They just said we don't want no advice because we lost our coach or whatever it may be. So,
but they don't have nothing wrong with the roster or nothing. No. They just don't want to play the bowl game because they didn't make the playoff. And I mean, they should have made it. They should have made it. I agree. But you don't go do that.
Well, if you go with 12, I don't think Alabama should have made it. I personally think that Notre Dame should have got in ahead of Alabama.
Yeah, I agree.
Alabama lost that last game, and they looked bad the last couple of games. And Notre Dame, the thing I'm thinking about is you're looking at the best teams, right? Top 12 teams. If you look at the top 12 teams, all of these, who you think are left out that could win the national championship?
Exactly.
Notre Dame good enough, they could have won the national championship. But we're not going to find out because they're not in the playoffs. That's a problem. And BYU, they got left out because they lost to the same team twice. But they should be in. I personally think they're going to go to the meeting. I think it's scheduled for January or early February, where they're going to look at the playoff bracket. I think they're going to go to 16. And if they go to 16, you don't have this issue because Notre Dame would be in, BYU would be in, Vanderbilt would probably be in. So those teams would be in the playoffs if we went to 16 teams. And I think that's what they're going to end up doing. And like I said, if the other two teams get blown out, if Tulane and JMU get blown out, I think they're going to end up having their own championship.
Yeah, I think they're going to make another playoff, a big Power 4 playoff bracket, I guess you could say.
And they may end up doing away with the championship games eventually because, it's kind of unfair when you look at Alabama and Georgia going into the playoff game. They already were in the playoffs, pretty much. But they go play a bowl game against each other, and if you lose, it hurts you. It should have hurt Alabama, but anyway, they got in anyway. But they should not have gotten in because they lost that game to Georgia. But that conference thing is something to be an issue. Where if you have 16 games, why do you have a conference championship? So that's going to be something they're looking at too. But anyway, that's the games. That's the top 12. They start next weekend. They start next weekend, so we'll talk more about them next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about. There's only one bowl game this week. There's two college games this week. They got Navy and Army, which is a big game, big type game. It's, you know,
We always love watching that game.
everybody loves watching that game. It's the pump and circumstance of the game, the celebration before and after, when they both become, at the end of the game, they're all hugging each other, they all celebrating and singing their alma maters because of the United States. So that's a good game. I think in that game, I believe Navy will probably win that game. But it's a 6.5 point spread. It's hard to
Navy's
tell.
pretty good.
But Navy's real good. Yeah, Navy's going to make a bowl game.
Didn't they start the season ranked?
Yeah, they were ranked. And they ended up in the top 25, I think.
Still?
Top 30, somewhere around there. I mean, they only lost 1 or 2 games. So
Yeah,
they lost to Notre Dame, and I forgot who else. But anyway, that game is coming up this week. And one of the bowl games starts this week is Boise State plays Washington this week in a bowl game. I'm not even sure what... let me look at that real quick. I had it posted a minute ago.
Look it up.
Yeah, they're playing in the LA Bowl, I guess the Los Angeles Bowl. Saturday night at 7 o'clock. The Army-Navy game is at 2 o'clock Central Time on CBS. But Boise State is getting 9.5 points. That seems like a lot. Boise State got a good football team. I'm not sure why that spread is so high. But I looked at it and see any injuries or anything major, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to give you my picks right now on the games that I like. In the college games, I do like Navy minus 6.5 over Army. And I do like Boise State plus 9.5 over Washington. And remember, if you wager on any games, only bet what you can afford to lose.
Yep.
Don't bet more than you can afford to lose, so you won't be upset with yourself. Just play what you can afford to lose, and if you can afford to win it, win it. Hopefully you win the games. Let's move on to the NFL.
Here we go.
NFL schedule. Let's look at last week first real quick. Man, a surprising game I thought last week was Detroit beating Dallas. Dallas was on a roll.
Yeah.
Dallas had won, 3 or 4 in a row and looked real good doing it. And they got dominated the other night by Detroit, 44-30. And the game really was not that close. Detroit just controlled that game, it seemed like the whole time.
And then pretty much the doo-doo bowl, the Titans and the Browns we talked about last week. The Titans pulled out a win, surprisingly.
Yep.
Cam Ward versus Shador Sanders, 31-29. Titans win.
Jaguars 36-19 over Indianapolis.
And
Problem is Indianapolis don't have any quarterback.
we
right
have
now.
a story.
And they just announced they bring in
Yes.
Philip Rivers back.
44-year-old Philip Rivers. to be
Grandfather.
exact.
He's a grandfather.
Exactly.
Now he's on the practice squad, but that don't mean anything. They can activate him and actually play him this
Yeah.
weekend. So I
Because
guess we'll have
Daniel
to wait and
Jones,
see.
they have announced that Daniel Jones is out to a torn Achilles.
Yeah. So
Uh,
they may end up playing him.
Vikings beat the dog smack out of the Commanders,
I don't know what's going on with the
31-0.
Commanders just seem like-
Commanders are like not the same
I
this
mean, they
year.
lost their quarterback, but
Daniels-
what's going on with the rest of the
Jaden
team?
Daniels, our former LSU quarterback, hasn't been the same this year. He's been hurt pretty much all year. He
hurt
came
again.
back in this game and got hurt again.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot like Joe Burrow. It seems like they're both getting hurt a lot because they're
And then the Bills and the Bengals. This was one of the most entertaining games this weekend. They were going back and forth all game, and the Bills pulled it out in the end somehow.
Yep,
39-34.
And Seattle put it on Atlanta bad,
Yeah.
37-9. Seattle is a team. People got to be careful with them. I mean, I think the Rams are favorite right now to win the NFC, but Seattle is right there on their
Yeah, they are.
tail. They are close. Seattle's got a good
Like we
defensive
talked
football team.
about. Saints beat the Buccaneers.
Yep.
Steelers
Woo,
beat
Steelers
the
pulled it off.
Ravens. Pulled it off.
Steelers pulled it off. Aaron Rodgers pulled that game out.
Dolphins beat Jets 34-10.
Yep. Denver beat the Raiders
Barely,
24-17. Always a close game. Seems like the Raiders always hang in there with most of
because
their
it's their
division rivals.
Yeah. Rams beat the Cardinals pretty bad, 45-17.
Yeah, they came back after that loss last week to Carolina. They came
Matthew
back.
Stafford is looking like an MVP this year.
Yep.
We've been saying it all year. The Bears beat the Packers. Bears lost to the Packers 28-21.
Yeah, they had that game won, and then they threw a pick, I think, right at the end
I think
where
so.
they could have scored and went into overtime, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, and then the Texans
Ooh, the
beat
Texans.
the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going down.
Yep, the Chiefs can't afford to lose another one. They lose one more, they're out. And really, they have to win them all.
Yes, they
And I don't
have to
think they
win.
can win them all. I don't think
They
can.
have to win out to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't
And
think they
it
can.
doesn't look like they're going to do that because they have a pretty tough
I
schedule.
think their offensive line has been an issue. Pat Mahomes has been running around a lot.
Mahomes has been running, but his throws haven't been the same they've been for the past 7 years of his career.
Well,
Like, they just haven't been
They had some drop passes.
They had some drops, but he's just been off. Travis Kelce's not playing the same. Looks like he's more focused on his girlfriend than his NFL game.
And if you watch, Monday night, that was the most craziest game I've ever seen in my life. It's like either one of the teams wanted to win. They kept turning the ball over, turning the ball over, turning. Yeah, I
Jalen
think
Hurts
they had,
throws
7
4
turnovers?
interceptions.
I think they had 7 turnovers in the game.
Think
There
so.
was I think 6 in the first half, and then they
Okay,
turned
so
the ball over
Herbert-
again.
Justin Herbert only threw 1 interception, but Jalen Hurts threw 4.
But they had fumbles too. They had all
So-
kind of fumbles. There was a lot of things
Yeah.
happening in that game.
That was a bunch of
It's like
fumbles.
nobody wanted to win the game. On
Yeah.
one play, Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball.
Mhm.
The Chargers recovered it. They fumbled. Hurts recovered it.
Yeah.
He fumbled, and then the Chargers recovered it.
It
On
kept
one
going.
play. That's the first time a quarterback ever fumbled.
And then
ball
they
twice
fumbled on, and then they threw a pick on the next
on
play.
the next play. But that's the first quarterback to ever fumble twice in the same play. Was that in the NFL? So he broke a record on
But
that.
yeah, they fumbled. They threw a pick or fumbled on the next play.
Yeah, it was like
It was like, bruh. All right, then coming
Anyway,
up
that
this
was
week,
bad. Anyway, this week let's look at the games.
Thursday night football. We're gonna have a divisional matchup: Falcons and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have to win. This is a must-win for the Buccaneers.
Yep. And the Falcons, for them to make the playoffs, they have to win out. But I don't think they can. I think it's between the Bucks and
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yep.
We're gonna find out about
And then
that.
we're gonna have another Ravens-Bengals matchup this season. Hopefully that's gonna be good, but it's in Cincinnati.
They didn't play last week, huh? Did they play last
They
week?
played
Oh, that was
Thanksgiving.
Buffalo that played last week.
They played
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So the Ravens go to Cincinnati. That's going to be a pretty good game, I
Yeah.
think, because the Ravens lost to Pittsburgh at home.
Raiders-
Now they're going to play Cincinnati, who's playing real good right now.
Raiders go to Philly.
Yeah,
If
Philly
Eagles-
needs to win.
If Eagles lose this game, they are in trouble.
They're in big trouble.
They're in big trouble.
Texans play the Cardinals. Texans should run away with that game. Their
Yeah.
defense.
Texans-
Houston's defense is
They
probably one
saying
of
the
the best.
Texans' defense is the best in the league.
Between them and Seattle, I think.
They have a great defense. It's
I
unbelievable.
think it's swapped a little. The AFC's been a lot tougher the last few years, but I think this year the NFC looks stronger.
Mm-hmm.
We've got stronger defenses there. Green Bay's defense looks good. Seattle's defense looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, of course, they're in the AFC, but still, they look good too. It's a lot of good defense.
Another divisional: Chargers and the Chiefs.
That'll be
The
a good one.
Chiefs,
can't lose that
Chiefs.
game.
If they lose, they're out.
They're
They
out.
are done. They need to win.
They got a tough schedule.
Must
too.
win for the
They ain't easier. They still got to play Denver, I think, again, and
Yeah,
so I mean it's going to be tough for them.
and then
to
the
get in.
Bills got to go to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's the game of the week, I think. The Patriots and the Bills are both tied, I think, in first place, if I
Yes,
remember right. They're
I
both
think
tied
so,
in
too.
first place. So that's going to be a
Jets-
tough game. They're
Jets
playing
and
in
the
New
Jag-
England, but I still think Buffalo has the advantage
I
in that
agree.
game.
Jets and Jaguars.
Jaguars
should
go
win
down.
this
Yeah,
game.
Yeah.
Commanders and Giants.
Ooh.
I mean,
That's a sleep game. Just go sleep through
that's a trap game. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. The Commanders suck.
Who's playing? I guess,
Giants suck.
Mariota is playing for Washington.
Mariota.
And I think Jackson is back. Jackson Dart is still playing for the Giants, right?
Yeah.
He's not hurt.
I think
So-
Cam Scatterboo was back in the facility
So maybe the Giants
today,
have a
I
chance.
think.
Maybe the Giants have a chance. I think they're favored by
Yeah.
2 or 3 points. But
The
anyway.
Browns and the Bears. The Bears should run away with this one because the Bears have just been
They've been playing good. except for-
unbelievable to me because
They should have won that game last week, but it was close.
They should have
hung
won.
in there.
and then the Saints play the Panthers at home this week.
I like the Saints in that game. I
I
think
do
the Saints
too.
are going to play real good and hurt Tampa.
Shuck is
They hurt that
looking
Tampa, I think.
Shuck is looking like a good QB.
The Lions and the Rams.
Lions and the Rams. I got to give it to the Rams. I mean, Matthew Stafford is playing lights out.
They are, but Detroit looked so good last Thursday night, and they had 10 days to
Yeah,
get ready.
but the Lions just ain't been the same this year.
Well, I know, but
Jared Goff haven't been making the same making the throws that he needs to.
And we already mentioned Seattle and Indy earlier.
Yeah. So
the Packers play the Broncos. That's
the Colts. Wait, back to the Seahawks. Colts need to win that game too. That's a must-win.
I know, but who's the starting Rivers?
I guess I don't know.
I don't know if he can win that game.
Packers and Broncos. That should be one of the best games this week.
Yeah, a lot of people think Denver's going to win, but I don't know. Green Bay's defense travels well.
Yeah, Green Bay's.
I think that's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah,
I think that's going
to be the Broncos offense is good and the Packers defense is good.
Yeah, it's going to be a low scoring.
They both have good defenses. I mean,
think it's
good
like
offense.
20-17 game.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Titans and 49ers. 49ers should run away with this game.
Yeah, but the Titans have been scoring a lot of points. So,
they have, but they haven't.
But the 49ers defense is pretty good. They should handle that. The Vikings and
Cowboys.
Cowboys
should win this game.
Yeah, Minnesota, I don't know. They've lost it. It's like they went downhill.
Mm-hmm.
They should have kept their quarterback. Now, J.J. McCarthy came back, and he's looking better now. So they may get up for this game in Dallas. But we'll find out. Dallas the same way. Dallas needs to win.
Yeah. Dolphins and Steelers. Steelers should win this game.
Steelers need to win that game. And Miami's been playing good. I think Miami's won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So Miami's been looking real good. So I guess we'll find out what's going on in that. And anyway, that's it for the NFL schedule for this week.
Yep.
NFL picks. I'm going to give you a few picks. I'm going to give you 4 picks. I like Houston minus 9.5 over Arizona. Arizona's a pretty bad football team. I like Jacksonville. It's 12.5. It's a lot of points, but the Jets don't have anybody. They've let everybody go, so they don't have much left on that football team. I like San Francisco minus 12.5 against Tennessee. I think they handle Tennessee, especially at home. And I like the Saints plus 2.5 at home. Saints are getting points from Carolina, and I think the Saints win that game by at least a field goal. I think at least a field goal. So anyway, that's my picks. And Navy minus 6.5 and Boise State plus 9.5. You want to mention what happened with the UFC fights last week?
Yeah, they had some good fights. We watched them Saturday. Great fights. Well, I guess we're gonna go. Henry Cejudo was like one of the first fights of the card. He fought his last fight in the octagon. He put up a good fight. Him and Peyton Talbot were going back and forth, but Henry Cejudo just didn't look like he did in his prime. So he lost that fight, and Peyton Talbot is on like a 3-fight win streak, I think. But Henry Cejudo didn't lay the gloves down, but he retired. He's done. What was the next fight? Tatsuro Taira and Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno got submitted. I mean, not submitted. He got ground and pounded pretty easily in the first round. Then freak accident in the co-main event. Alexander Pantoja defending his belt against Joshua Van. First round, first 15 seconds. Pantoja throws a high kick. Van pushes him. He falls, tries to post himself, falling down. It looked like his elbow went inside out. It was bad. He broke his arm. But then when they got out in the locker room, the doctors were like, we popped his shoulder back into place. And I was like, it didn't look like his shoulder, because when you go look at the video, his elbow went sideways and his arm bent. And so they called that a TKO. Joshua Van wins the flyweight belt. And I'm pretty sure I said this on the show last week, that I wanted Joshua Van to win that. He didn't want it to win it like that. I didn't want him to win like that. Nobody wants to lose like that by a freak accident. But Joshua Van is the new champ, and he's going to have to defend his belt. Yep. And then the real main event, Merab and Peter Yan 2. Marab got absolutely annihilated. Got bullied in that fight. Peter Yan got one of the best takedown defenses in the division. I mean, in the UFC, in my opinion, because Marab shot 16 takedowns, I think. Probably only landed 2 or 3. Yeah, Peter Yan was beating him up on the feet. And Peter Yan is the new bantamweight champ. And Marab lost his fight, ends his 14-fight win streak. Well, that's it for the UFC. I think there's a fight night coming up, but it's not really interesting. I'm not going to tell y'all about it.
We didn't mention LSU's bowl game.
LSU's
bowl game is going to be at Texas Bowl in Houston.
Texas Bowl again.
They're playing in Houston.
Yep.
On December 27th at I think it's 7:15 at night. It says 8:15, but that must be Eastern. 7:15.
At 8:15.
7:15, I think. The game's always early.
No, that one's right.
Well, anyway.
8:15.
Okay, 8:15 on the 27th.
So 2 days after Christmas, we'll have LSU in Houston.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good bowl matchups. We'll go over those a little bit next week and look at them. I'm not going to look at all of them. There's 30-something bowls. I think there's 35 or 38 bowls. But we will look at a few of them just to highlight the big ones because there's some that are very good matchups along the way.
Agreed.
But we're definitely going to look at the playoffs next week and tell you what we think is going to happen in the first round next Saturday. Next Saturday, and I think it's Saturday and Friday. I don't know, Friday and Saturday, I think. I'm not sure how the schedule goes, but I think it's Friday and Saturday.
I think it's just Saturday.
I don't see the playoff records here. Anyway, all right. Well, if you notice, we put the same stuff up because they won that game.
Yeah.
Some old stuff I had, an old beer mug. Ricky Williams, remember he played here at the Saints at one time? And back in the late 80s and early 90s, that was the way bobbleheads looked at that point. That's
a bad bobblehead. I will take you. That's a bad bobblehead.
I think they were giving them away.
But
hopefully I didn't.
They were giving them a Oh, remember y'all went to them? Y'all used to go to them Saints festivals. They probably were giving them out or something.
Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you share, like us, tell other people about us.
Yep.
If you need to find anything, what do?
You look it up. Find us on Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo, and YouTube under the Look It Up Podcast.
Let's pull for the Saints this week.
Yep.
Who dat?
Who dat? Go Tigers. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.